Hey guys, this is Mark Goldberg from Mark Vlogs Watches, and today we are going to dip into viewer mail. That's right, I've ripped open the mailbag, and we're going to talk about a few fun things here that you all sent me. But before we get to the meat and potatoes of all of that, let's get the quick fist watch check out of the way. And here she is. Today I am wearing a watch that I just can't seem to take off lately. It is a Sunray Blue dial Sinn 104. You know guys, for a one watch collection in the $1,500 range, this might be absolutely the perfect watch. I did a nice review of it, and I will throw it in the comments section of this video so that you can learn more about the Sinn 104. It's everybody's favorite watch in the watch collecting world. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. Okay, guys, we have mail. The first letter is from Danny, and he is coughing up a watch regret. He says, I think my worst watch regret was selling my Patek 5711 in 2015 for $30,000. Wah, 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 wah. He says, I felt it was too small. Ouch. Well, that would be a big regret, Danny. The 5711, I'll pop a picture in right here. I don't know why Patek discontinued that. It was, for a very long time, one of their most popular watches. And I feel like when you sold it, you should have gotten closer to $40,000 for it, not $30,000. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe you sold it to, to your uncle for the friends and family discount. Or maybe you did a backroom deal, for cash in a parking lot. But even before Patek discontinued that watch, it started to get rarer and harder to get. And prices went from around $40,000 to $45,000 to $50,000 to $55,000, and honestly, they're somewhere in the $80,000 range, and it won't surprise me if they don't eventually hit $100,000 for the 5711 before maybe it collapses back to a more reasonable, I don't know what, 60? Even that I think is like kind of nuts. That watch looks like a 1950s television set. And it doesn't have a dive bezel. I mean, what kind of dive watch doesn't have a dive bezel? Well, I suppose if you're wearing a Patek Philippe, the most wet that you're ever going to have to get it is, if you're the chairman of the board of directors and you hit your golf ball into the pond, and you've got to reach into the water hazard, you want to make sure that your Patek Philippe can take it. So maybe that's what you wear when you're golfing. I don't know. At any rate, I would really feel bad about that one, Danny, also. Sorry to hear it, man. The problem is that you'll never be able to get another one. Easy come, easy go. You'll never see another one of those again. Sorry, buddy. Next, we have a letter from a good friend of this channel, Valen Greymoon. If you keep an eye on the comments section of Mark Vlogs Watches, you will notice that 9 times out of 10, Valen Greymoon is the first person to hit like on one of these videos and the first person to leave a comment. It's as though he stares at his watch all day long, just waiting for me to upload. Valen, get a life, but hey, I'm glad you're sharing it with me. Appreciate it, buddy. From the archives of Valen Greymoon. This is a good story, guys. Back in mid-2009, I was pretty much forced to sell my vintage 1945 Rolex Bubbleback stainless with a yellow California dial to pay impound costs. Now, by the way, that is a pretty collectible watch. They are actually kind of reasonable in price, but not all that long ago, you could buy them for $1,500 or $2,000, so they have really popped up lately. But anyway, he says, I had to sell it to pay vehicle impound costs. Anyone who lives in Chicago will know how bad those are. Yes, we do. Because my idiot ex-wife decided, I think she's the ex now, but she was the wife then. He goes, because my idiot ex-wife decided to loan our car to one of her idiot friends who had no license. He and the car both got locked up. After I was finally able to sell the watch, I got a cool $5,500 for it. The car was long gone. Well, guys, what they do in Chicago is if you don't pick up your car after a certain period of time from the impound, they cube it. I mean, they turn it into a little tiny square, metal cube. So just to be a royal jerk, and that is not the word he used, but to be a royal jerk, I picked up a 2000 Harley Sportster single-seater, which meant she had to take the bus to work. Valen Greymoon, you, sir, are a master of passive-aggressive. That is a master genius stroke right there. That is divorce, like 101. That is definitely the advanced work. That is not divorce 100. You, sir, are an expert. He said, I bought the 2000 Harley Sportster single-seater, which meant she had to take the bus to work from then on. I used the rest of the money to hire a divorce attorney. Fun times, fun times. Well, fellas, we're going to end on a slightly more philosophical note. I've heard from Lee Gordon, who says, Mark, I am a big fan of your channel. I am particularly interested in Rolex watches, and you always come through with great content, especially with the assistance of your spies. I also like the fact that you don't take yourself too seriously, and you add a psychological component to being a watch enthusiast. It's all psychology, my friend. There is a little something wrong with each and every one of us. Well, with that, can you provide any insight on when enough is enough? There is nothing worse than never being truly satisfied, always wanting more, being envious of someone else's collection, never being truly at peace with yourself, being on your deathbed and looking back at your life and wondering, if I only had that one watch, and then dying. What? Sorry, I shouldn't really laugh at that line. This is, Lee, I'm afraid you, me, and all the audience is going to need therapy after I finish with this letter. I think you might need it right now. What if I only had that one watch and then you die? Well, you know what? Actually, what if when you die and you walk into the light, you're actually walking into an authorized dealer who has Steel Sports in stock? Would that be heaven? What do you think? What can we do to truly be happy with what we have? To enjoy our watches and to keep those negative thoughts from constantly pushing their way back into our heads. Lee from Florida. Well, first of all, Lee, you got to understand we have a small problem. Most watch collectors suffer from some form or another of OCD. I'm not mocking you. I'm not mocking, any of the viewers of this channel, because I'm right in that same boat with you. One of the reasons that I think I love watches is, see the second hand? It's things that move in circles. I don't know what it is. They catch my attention. So I have a front-loading washing machine, and when the laundry is going around, through the porthole window, I could stare at that. Literally, I could just sit there or stand there and watch the entire load of laundry get done. But if your watch collecting isn't really truly ever satisfying you, let me give you a couple of tactics, a couple of thoughts. One, what I sometimes do, and I'm in the middle of doing this right now. What I sometimes do is I want to stop the madness by simplifying, okay? By simplifying. So I take every watch that I own and I lock it up. And then I pick out one watch that I like, that's very simple, and I commit myself to wearing that watch for a specific amount of time. I start with a day, I go to the next day, because, buddy, as any addict will tell you, it's one day at a time, and I'm not even kidding. And then what I'm looking to do is to work myself up to a week to calm the mind, to break the cycle. Now, I'm going to give you a few more tactics here now, but at this point I want to mention, guys, what do you do to stop the madness? How do you quiet the mind when the watch disease is in full swing and it's really bothering you? I mean, I feel like, Lee, if you're worrying about what you're going to be thinking on your deathbed, it's gotten a little too serious for you. Okay, here's another one of my tactics. And I suspect that most of you Rolex collectors are not going to like this. I feel like you're going to mock me for this. But I start sometimes playing with really much lower level watches. So I can, and it's not just scratching the itch, it's developing an appreciation for the opposite end of the scale, like the super econo watch. I'm gonna drop a picture in here right now. No, I'll throw in some video in here right now of a watch that costs about as much as a tank of gas, but I really like it, and I'm trying to appreciate things that are less expensive than Rolex so that I can acquire. And then when I get tired of them, I can either give them away or sell them on eBay for half price. The Casio Illuminator on the left cost about $65, and the Casio Royale on the right cost about $28. They have a charm all unto their own, and sometimes when I want to simplify, I'll wear these watches for about a week or so to just calm the mind. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be a pleasant hobby. It's supposed to be something that makes you happy. I will tell you this, Lee, you are not alone. This can get actually exhausting and miserable for all of us. If you want to know how bad it can get, you need to watch my friend Jeff McMahon's channel. He talks a lot about watch disease and the angst that it ensues. And he talks a lot too about ways to sort of, combat the ennui. But my advice to you is to take a break, quit worrying about it, stop watching YouTube. This is not very self-serving of me, but you may need to sort of unsubscribe from everything. It may be that you just need a break. So to review, what I do is I lock everything up. I stop trying to shop watches. And then here's one final tactic that I take, besides wearing cheap watches and trying to become interested in the lowest level of watch horology as well as a higher level. But another tactic that I use is I'll put on a watch, and I've done this very recently with the Sinn 104. And then I go on YouTube and I watch every video of the watch I'm actually wearing. And listening to these guys like me, like Bruce Williams, like Tim Masso, fawning over the Sinn 104, well, it makes me appreciate what's literally on my wrist so that I can calm down and commit to wearing it for longer. And I may need to watch 4, 5, or 6 of those videos, and I may need to do that for a day. I might actually have to watch them a couple of times over the course of the week where I'm committed to wearing this one particular watch. And what that does is it sort of soothes the savage beast for a while. Does it come back? Yes. But try and enjoy what you have. Try and enjoy what you have, And I don't think it's possible to enjoy what you have if you don't lock it up once in a while, deny yourself, make yourself miss a watch, and then you can pull it back out. Guys, what do you think? Can we help Lee out? Give him some advice. I want to thank you for spending this time with me. Join this channel immediately for therapy. We'll do all of this together. Together, we're stronger. This is Goldberg. Peace out.
Paint the sky.